obviously fairly fortunate to pull out last night's game late. We played well enough to hang in there, but Montreal dictated a lot of the play, and I think tonight they just, when they got their opportunities, they scored, and probably something that hasn't happened to them definitely against us so far. So it was, I looked at the first and didn't think it was that. It was a 2-0 period, yet it's 2-0. And then it's uphill battle from there, and that was it.
Coach, I'm sure it's tough to pull your goalie from that game, but maybe just tell us your thought process and why you decided to pull Bishop.
It was a back-to-back, and it wasn't I sit there and look at the goals. I mean, the goals, Pacioretty's got a breakaway. That's a big-time shot, and even who's got the first one? Yeah, those aren't his fault. That was a complete cluster in the D zone. We just completely broke down and gave him, that was an easy one, so it's not his fault. And so here he's played a lot of hockey. It's like game, then we got a back-to-backer. I thought, maybe we got a spark out of this, but definitely wasn't because of Bishop's play.
In three out of 4 games so far, even though you're up 3-1 in the series, the Canadiens seem to have the upper hand at even strength. What do you see in the play at even strength in terms of possession that seems to be working a little bit more in their favor?
Well, I think we're helping them. We've turned a lot of pucks over uncharacteristically, something we haven't done, for most of the year. I think a lot of that is, they're playing well. They're using their speed. We looked a little slow tonight for whatever reason, but a lot of these, I think, are correctable in the sense that we can't keep giving them second chances, and that's what we seem to be doing. It's kind of the old make one mistake, not two. Well, we're making 2, 3, 4, and all of a sudden now we're chasing the game. And I think when we got behind tonight, especially, we chased the game. It just opened up, and it was just one of those nights that we were now all of a sudden we're trying too hard and we're out of our structure, and it just seemed like we were giving up odd man rush after odd man rush when I can sit here and go multiple games in a row we don't give up one. But it was one of those nights. It's probably somewhat reminiscent of game 2 when we got out to the big lead and chipped it in and chipped it out to finish off the game, and tonight they got out in the big lead, and we were pressing too much, and it just got worse after that. So we just got to regroup. I mean, I look back and sit here and say, okay, after 4 games, would you have taken a 3-1 lead after 4 games? I most certainly would have. Nobody ever thought, I think, when this series started that it was going to be a sweep, and I don't think anybody ever thought that we were going to roll into Montreal and take 2. But it's a building we've felt comfortable playing in, and we know this is going to be wasn't going to be a sweep. But certainly I like where we're sitting game-wise, 3-1 after 4.
John, even though 3-1 is still comfortable, do you feel that your team took it maybe a little bit too easy tonight? And does a result like the one tonight is the best message that a coach can give? You don't even have to make a speech, just look at the result of the game and say, yeah, there you go.
I think you take everything. You can take something out of every game. Do we walk in tonight as a coaching staff and sit there and say, you know what, I hope Montreal throws it to us 6-2, and this will be a learning lesson for our guys? I don't believe that at all. And I think I've said it a million times, it's a race to 4, and it doesn't matter how you get there. You still got to get there. And I think with this team, if you look at our roster, well over, I think, half of this team has played more games in this playoff round than they have in their entire career. So everything's a learning experience. Everything's new for us. I mean, we've never been to a Game 7, most of us. For most of us, this is our first time we'd ever won a playoff game. We've never been up in a series ever till this series. So we've never been up 3-0. We've never been down 3 games to 2. Like, we're learning all these things as we go, and they're great experiences for our guys. I know we have much more in us, but it's what we pull from all this, because something different happens every single night, and it's awesome. It's been like, it's fun being a part of this. Like, we're playing hockey in May. We have a chance to get to the conference final. Like, we need to embrace that. I'm really confident our group will, because we've a pretty resilient group, and all year long we've done really well after we've lost. This group has rebounded, and I expect nothing less from them.
Connerie. Ouais. Il y a des entraîneurs qui aiment ça, les conférences de presse.